Well, Ornate Opulence is the name of this set, and this comes from our friends in England, Katie Sue Designs. And here is just one of the wonderfulness you can create with this. In fact, you can have fun using the cutting dies with it too. Please come play with us. Well, as I said, this is called Ornate Opulence. There are 8x8 papers. They're also foiled and die-cut toppers. Now you get 6 sheets and you get 1 each of 3. There you go. And then there's also, whoops, and they just pop right out. And you get 48 in the package. And then with the sentiment toppers, you get 2 sheets. They are the same sheet twice, and you get 50 of these greetings. So that's what they call the sentiments. So this is what you have to work with. And I will tell you, this was very fun. So let me show you the first. I've got some notes on it, so let me remove those Post-its. And let me get this over here. Okay, so the paper is what I start with. The papers are double-sided. And this is our regular 5 by 6.5 inch card. The fold is at the top. And let me show you what I used. So this is obviously the paper that I chose for here. This is on the back. That is on the back of that. And then the topper, as you can see, is this one. And this was kind of a happy accident because I had this sitting on my table and I happened to have the doily near it. And I thought that was just, it kind of made it even more opulent. So that was perfect. So what I did is I took this sheet and I cut it to be 6 by 4 3/4. So that gives me the white edge. Now the white edge, of course, because there's white in this topper and the toppers are foiled. You know, I don't know what it is about England. They have all the foiling over there. So Hunky Dory and Katie Sue, that's kind of nice. And anyway, so digress there for a moment. So the white is going to be duplicated in the card edge as well as in the doily. So that was good. And I found that the doilies are 4 inches wide. So if I put it like that, you know, I could do 2 of them. But also what I did is I just cut the little puppy in half and I glued it to the back of the topper, okay? That way I had the look I wanted and I could position them equally, which is exactly what I did. Now, before I attach that, I wanted to use this strip. Now this strip is on the topper sheet, or one of the topper sheets. In fact, you get 2 of them, one that's pink and one that's blue. So I used the pink one, and notice it's kind of gradated. It's lighter in the middle and darker on the edges. So I just used one end and glued that down and positioned it right in the middle. Then this piece is on top of it. So that took care of that. And you can tell I'm going into the purple. I could have gone the blue route, but I elected to go the purple route. The On Your Special Day, well, that is, of course, part of our topper, our sentiments collection. So that completed my card front. Now to go the inside, kind of wanted to do something more. So I did a bit of collage. Now here, you can see that I used a piece of this, although I did turn the diamonds so that they were horizontal instead of going vertical. Vertical is how they're going in the front. It's just a minor thing, but I thought it was fun. I also realized that in this, I'm probably going to need some solid cardstock. So what am I going to use? And I found that the Luscious Lace solid cardstock had all the colors that I needed. Actually, it even had more than what I needed. So in this case, I took the purple, and it has a lighter purple on one side and a darker purple on the other. So I have the darker purple. I put that down first, and that was a 6 by 4.5. And then I put the Opulence. That's going the 5 inches, and it's about 3 1/4. So you'll see that down below. Now this piece comes from this sheet, and it's on the back side of this. So some of them are going to have patterns on both sides. Some of them are going to have a pattern and then some cutouts. In this case, the cutout was working beautifully because I wanted to keep the purple. And so I just cut it out, but I did put another half of a doily, glued it to the back side so I could adjust how far I wanted that to extend. And I wanted to keep it within the purple, so I did. And I did want to add some gold because I knew I was going to have this greeting, this sentiment, birthday wishes, but there was no other gold. So I went into our fancy border dazzles, and this has got black, white, gold, and silver. And stay tuned because this is going to be used quite a bit. So I just added that decorative border. So it doesn't scream at you, but it's a nice little flash and kind of like the foiling there. So I think that, so I did stay with the same color. You know, often I don't, but I did this time. So that was my first card. Now my second card is the one that I showed in the opening. And I thought that these were just a really good place to play with some of the cutting dies. So in this case, as you can see, I've taken the sheet and I just love this color. It is gorgeous. I'm going to have to stop for a second because my puppy is wandering off and I need to get her back here. I'll be right back. Okay, Bella's now at my side. She knows she's supposed to sit, but I thought this was just gorgeous. Now notice this is very, very different than the first sheet that was all the purples. So there are many sheets like this that have the artwork all over, but I thought this was just drop dead gorgeous. So I covered my card front, and when I use the term cover, you can see it. In fact, I did a webisode on the Card Making 101. That's on the 101 sites. That's down. Go to the home page. When you go down to webisodes, you'll see all of them, and that's there. So what I do is I simply put glue on the edges of my card, kind of make a big X, and then I position this along two edges. So in this case, here and here, press it down, turn it over, and trim it to fit. And that way you don't have to do measurements, and it always works. So that was gorgeous. Now, because that is dark, and I knew I was going to do one of the other toppers, I wanted to make sure the topper was light. So I didn't want to put two darks on there. But I also wanted to duplicate the gold foiling. So what better way than dazzle? So back to my fancy border. And you can tell I used a narrow one, and I did all the way around the edge. And then I used this very decorative one. It's about 1 inch from the edge of the card. So that worked nicely. Then I placed this one. So, okay, this is the one I used the first card. Here's the second card. Let me place that there and position that, and then I've got the Love You right there, so it can go onto your toppers anywhere you want to put them. And that was in the, let me bring this out, this is in the We're Together More, it's the We're Together More colors. So what this does, it's got all of these greetings in long script or stacked. So there's a Love You over here, and right there, Love You, or you can get it stacked, which is right here. And again, this is a black, white, gold, silver, and brown. So obviously I did the gold to mirror the gold that's going on. Now for the inside, okay, I wanted to do something more. So I went to this cutting die, and this is the Double Door. This was released earlier this year. Super simple, super neat. This is part of the Fabulous Folded, which are always cards. A new one comes out every month. And you can tell this has, it's called a wallet packaging. So the dies are inside, but the instructions are right here. So everything just stays nicely together. So in order to use that, I went back to my Luscious Lace and chose the burgundy and die cut 2 of the pieces. In fact, let me open this up and show you. Okay, so here we go. This is what it looks like. I should give you the ta-da, the reveal. So here we go. And how fun is that? Just works so nicely. So we've got red roses and red roses and red roses, the browns and the burgundies on the front, and very much the burgundy and pink on the inside. Now, the burgundy came from this sheet. And this is another cutout sheet, and that's what it has on the back side. So you've just got all of these options. And so I covered it just like I did the front. Now, I did not place this yet because I wanted to make sure just exactly where they were going to go. And I wanted to also share with you how you do this. Now, again, the directions are on the package, but when you die cut this, you will have the score lines. And then you take in this case, it's 1/2 inch extra sticky tape, and you put one piece along this score line, fold it back, and along this triangle, fold it back. Then you've got this score line that you fold back, okay? So you end up like that. What happens is you place this in your card. Now you've got 2 of them, one for each side, and you position it right along the edge of the card, and you position this point along the score line, and you attach it like this. So the tape is obviously on the card, and what happens is that when you close the card, that folds down, and you open the card, it opens. So it is that look. It is the double door. Here we go. Here we go, double door. Kind of like French doors. No, it's not Dutch doors because those are top and bottom, but it just is slick, absolutely slick. So I did those out of the Luscious Lace cardstock and placed these 2 that match right on those flaps. Added more of the Fancy Border Dazzles. I just thought it really needed something. Then on the inside, I did a piece of this same paper just to continue the art. Okay, so just that. And then this giant one just fits perfectly, doesn't it? And the We're Together Thinking of You is right along the bottom. And it's nice because you can see it as you open the card. So you've got the love you right there, and then the thinking of you. How neat is that? Super, super neat. Okay, so we've got beautiful, opulent art, and then we can add so many things to support that look. Okay, speaking of supporting that look, I have another card. This too is using a cutting die. Now this time, I'm going with the metallic gold too. So I guess I should just go ahead and show you the inside. So here we go. I'm going to open it, and voila. How neat. So this is another one. I'm purple and gold on the front. Boy, am I blue on the inside. But what a fun, easy piece to do. So let me go back to the paper and my cutting dies. Let me grab all of these. So the first thing I did was to cover my whole card. This is our metallic gold paper, and it is a paperweight, but it has this beautiful luster. So I covered the whole card with that. This is the fold on the left, and I used the paper and trimmed it down to fit within the card. Now, the directions and the measurements, they're all down below. I've written them out for you, and they're by the card. So just click on the card. You'll see the directions. They're going to be on the right-hand side of your screen. You can print them if you want to. In this case, I covered the card, and then I cut this piece down. Then I did this vertical ribbon. So the ribbon obviously is going to come out of our purple ribbon set. This is the crepe ribbon. The Have a Beautiful Day, that is out of the Sentiments. That's been foam taped. And then simply zotted a crepe ribbon, the same ribbon, down below it. Now notice that this is a little bit to the right. It's not smack dab in the middle. It's just a little offset. I did that because I wanted you to be able to see the flowers. And because that's the purple also that's supporting the color that I used, so I wanted to make sure you could see it. So everything doesn't have to be in the middle, so that's good to know. Now for the inside, okay, now the inside did a couple of things. So the first thing is I went back to the Luscious Lace and took the blue and covered the inside of my card. 2 pieces. Notice that you can see the score line right there. You want to make sure you don't want to have your paper going over it because it will buckle the paper. There's just kind of, I've not found a way to make that not happen. So I did put the 2 pieces, and then I used the royal blue with my blender brush and just went around the edges. I did, to minimize this white, I did go over that with my blender brush, so you can see it's kind of a light blue. So that worked nicely. Now this, I also cut 2 pieces of this paper, and notice that they're exactly the same size. I did edge them. This is with gold thin line dazzles. You can get this in a package or you can get it in a single sheet. And so just use the dazzles around the edge. Now, you can very often use the same design around the edges, or you can mix them. In this case, there's a lot of this little scallop, so I use that on both of them. You can see that's going on. Now, for this piece, okay, let me show you. This comes out of our folding pop-up card. Again, this is Fabulous Folded, which means it's going to be cards every month. And there's 3 mechanisms. Now, I did not use the tag on this one. I did use the pop-up mechanism because you kind of have to. And then I used the folding pop-up. And that folding pop-up is the one that attaches to the pop-up mechanism, just right there. And look how big this is compared to the mechanism. In fact, let me show you. This is what the mechanism looks like. In fact, I'll turn this over and let you see. So when you die cut it out, you're going to end up putting extra sticky tape. Now this happens to be the 1/4 inch, which is right here. And you put it on each of the scores. In fact, it's on that one, that score line, and that score line. There's also one in the middle. So these then go back. Okay, so all 3 of those goes back, but this one goes, it's a mountain fold. So mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold, valley fold. So even though this is one line, part of it is a mountain and part of it is a valley. The way you get that is by force. You just simply push, okay? Just make it do what you want. Now, when you have that, you will then place that into your card. In fact, the directions are right here. So you simply position it with those in the back, and you position it so that this line matches up with the score line of the card, just like that. And what happens is that this is going to pop forward, and this is going to be the piece that you attach this piece to. And that's exactly what I did. Or you could do the 2 separate tags. In this case, I just wanted the one piece, and that's exactly what I did. So here we go. So I've got this out of the blue, and then I went into, again, the both of the toppers and the sentiments. And notice that you can layer things together. This is fine because they're just going to, see how they're going to fold down? Now, if you had a smaller card, you could just trim this down and it would work also because the mechanism is so small. You can see how that is. And that's pretty big. It just really just spreads out. So I did ink the edges of those toppers because they were really white and I just wanted to have the blue really, you know, flowing through. I've got 2 sentiments. They too are foiled. So I've got foiling, 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 and then I've got the dazzles, which are also foiled. So everything works. So I've got a vertical one and a horizontal one on those edges. This extends over the edge of my little piece here. That's perfectly fine. And you can see it's just as long as it doesn't extend out the edge of the card. That's the big thing. This also I did with the blender brush. So all of those. Okay, so as gorgeous as this paper is, you can add some fun things to it also. Okay, I've got one more, and let me show you this. And when I get to the fourth card, because I want something different each time, sometimes I kind of go, I wonder what I'm going to do. Well, this was a happy accident, kind of like the doilies in the front one and the first one. So what happened was I was thinking of using black against this. And I thought, well, that's going to look pretty good. And then I happened to have brown. This is glitter cardstock. I happened to have the brown. And I thought, wow, that's really kind of sort of wonderful too. And I really hemmed and hawed about which one to use, but obviously I went with brown. And I thought that was really fun to add to it. Again, I've got the gold in several of these, but this was the first one, just going really a different color. So the brown covered the whole card with that, of course. Then I went into, so obviously I wanted to use this, and it does have green in there, so I went with this paper. Here's the back side of it, which is another cutout, so you just get a lot with this. And I did take this, oops, it's got writing on it, and trimmed it down. And I just did also with our velvet fawn, our friendly velvet fawn that just works so well with this, around the edges. However, I wanted to add something else, and I thought that vellum would be a nice contrast to the glitter. So our very popular white dot on vellum. Now, sometimes I've had people ask me, is there a right side and a wrong side when you have a printed vellum? Well, there isn't a right and a wrong, but there is a printed side and a non-printed. The way you can tell is get it, kind of flash it in a light. Can you see how that's kind of little glistening? When I have the other side, it's flat. It doesn't do that. So the printed side, you're going to see the ink. So I have this piece. It is 1.5 inches. And obviously it's 6.5 inches tall. Now, it is not attached at the top and the bottom. That's perfectly fine. All you have to do is glue it to the back of this topper and then glue that topper onto your card. Obviously, it's after you've done this. Now, I do find the extra sticky tape is going to attach the paper to the glitter cardstock just very nicely. Okay, so nothing is foam taped at this point. Everything is flat. Then this is one of the sentiments for you. Again, the green, so I'm attaching all of that. And I thought that with my dotted vellum, and there's kind of dots in this art, that the dotted ribbon would work nicely. So you don't have to have it there, you can leave it off, but I thought it added a nice texture. So I've got glitter, vellum, and ribbon. You just can't go wrong. Okay, now for the inside of this, I picked up the green. Now this time, I don't know that you can really see it, but this outside edge is vellum. And I colored it with my trusty blending brush and my khaki ink pad. So just went right around the edge of that vellum. Didn't do the inside, okay? Now the inside is from this sheet, and just to show you the back side, isn't that pretty? And so I've got this, and I elected to use this area. So that's the part that I trimmed. And I did the same thing. I did another strip, just glued it in the middle, because I knew I was going to overlap these two pieces. So I'm very brown and cream on the front, a little bit of green On the inside, I really popped the green, but I did go with this one that is actually, should probably be like that, but I thought it worked turning it this way and overlapping with this. Whoops, I've got my notes in here. You don't want that. Okay, so that finishes my 4 cards and why I did what I did and how fun it was. It was very neat. One other thing I want to tell you is if you remember Flower Soft, in fact, we still have some, Katie Sue's company developed that. And I go a long ways back. Her name is Katie. Her mother is Sue, so Katie Sue. Now, something with this collection that you're going to have is that you'll probably go through the papers because there's 24 sheets. And you get, I think, 3 of each design. But you're going to end up, because you have 50 here, and you have 48 of the sentiments, you're going to have a lot of stuff left. So what would you want to do with that? And my answer is, remember how I use the Luscious Lace solid cardstock? Well, lady, you can go with this Luscious Lace patterned because the colors are going to work and the design, I think, works nicely. So if you are playing, well, you can kind of see it here. If you're playing with any of these, that could be a background. That could be a background. As we get into, there's another green. We get into the blues and the, let's see. Okay, when we get into the burgundies and the pinks, there's just, it's just going to work. Okay, so I think it works. Anyway, you can tell what you think because I just wanted to give you another option because I think you will have a lot of pieces left, and that's really sort of fun to have, and also if you've got some place to put them. So the Ornate Opulence, this is a money saver, obviously. So you've got the 8x8s, you've got the toppers, you've got the sentiments, everything is foiled. This isn't, but these two are. And you've got lots of stuff. And so that's really, really nice. I hope you like it. The money saver, as always, is on the right side of your screen. Down below, I wrote directions how to do all of these cards. And I hope you enjoy that. I hope you have a good time playing with it because I certainly did. And there also is, if you are watching this on YouTube, please check out our money saver. Might as well save some money. And we hope that you will leave a comment. We hope you'll subscribe because that's what gets us more viewers, which is what we want. And head on over to Paper Wishes. You can see the instructions. You can print them off. I do want to tell you that because this comes from England, we have one purchase of it. So we will be bringing in more things from Katie Sue, I can guarantee you. And I hope you'll like it. And I hope you enjoyed this. Tell me what you think. Do you like having the mix of textures and colors? And if you like what's happening here. So I want to thank you for joining us and for being part, most of all, for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.